Welcome back to Pop Dissected. Today, we're going to be picking out which tracks off of Taylor Swift's new album, Lover, we think will be the best choices for singles. With 3 singles already released, there's no telling how many more singles Taylor will release for this record, but comparative to Reputation, 1989, and Red's 7 singles, it's safe to say we could get anywhere from 2 to 4 more singles off of Lover. We've picked out 5 tracks off of Lover that would be the best suited as singles. These picks are based off a multitude of factors, such as lyricism, production, theme, story, as well as its radio potential. Now, of course, many songs released as singles are done so they will be able to succeed commercially. However, just because a song is released as a single doesn't mean it needs or should be a massive radio hit that has a lot of airplay. Many times, singles are put out because the artist loves that song and chose it to not only represent their voice and intention, but as well as the record. So, in brief conclusion, these picks are not chosen because they'll all be radio smash hits. While a smash hit is great for an artist's relevance and their career, not every artist needs to have their singles be a smash hit. When you tread into that territory, it sometimes becomes about charts and sales, more so than appreciating the music that's been created. And of course, we all want our faves to succeed, but let's remember, the music is what comes first. As always, your opinions are always welcome, but let's always remember to be respectful and kind. So with that, let's begin. Number 5, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. This track is one of the strongest and my personal favorite off of Lover. Taylor paints such a vividly haunting picture with her lyricism. Her allegorical use of high school to represent not only her involvement in politics, but also her feelings on the current state of politics in America is genius. This song is one when you listen to it, it's easy for the allegory to go right over your head. In my first listening of this track, I thought this song was about Taylor finding refuge in love during the crumbling of her reputation and comparing that situation to high school drama. This is a deeply woven story and one that I think would give any listener chills. This could be a single that could be cleverly released in the fall of 2020 during election season. Taylor has become a lot more vocally political, and the song's intent being released in a very political time period would be genius. Aside from a specific release period, this song could be a modest success on the Hot 100, scoring Taylor a top 20 hit. The lyricism is so vivid in this song, and I know a music video would be visually breathtaking. Number 4, Paper Rings. This song screams bop. In this track, we really get a sense of Taylor's maturity. In her lyrics, she talks about her lover's friends being high and having dirty dreams. Taylor manages to evolve from fairy tale idealism to authentic lyrics about what love and falling in love truly is. She tells her audience, as well as her lover, the essential story of how she fell in love. She loves this man, and even though she'd love a beautiful shiny wedding ring, she would marry this man with merely paper because he is what she truly wants and loves. The effect Taylor has over her vocals and the verses creates the sound that her voice is speaking through an old-time microphone, which adds so much depth to this track. This song is a jam and radiates such positivity, and its production almost gives me the feeling this was an 80s inspired track. There's no doubt this is an easy top 10 hit for Taylor, and with how beautiful the Lover video was, I can only imagine what sort of romantic and sweet visuals Taylor could deliver for this song. Number 3, Cornelia Street. Out of all the slow tracks off of Lover, this one is the strongest contender to be a single. My personal favorite slow track is It's Nice to Have a Friend, with its simple storytelling and almost haunting production. However, Cornelia Street takes the cake. Following the trend of Paper Rings, this is another song about her lover, and this one is a lot more vulnerable. It echoes the vulnerability of Delicate, and we know Taylor has no issue showing us the many dimensions of her, as well as her love life. This song is so beautifully composed, and the chorus manages to keep the tone of the song without making it too boppy. In other words, While the chorus has more energy than the verses, it doesn't make the song feel disorganized. It manages to keep this song slow and have a somber feeling to it. Lyrically, this song reaches absolute perfection. These words seem as if they're straight out of Taylor's diary entries, and to be fair, they could have been. I can easily see this track peaking on adult contemporary radio and becoming a sleeper hit like Delicate. I could see it being released in the winter or as a final single off of Lover. It doesn't seem like it would be a huge radio hit, but it would have longevity for sure. Number 2, The Man. This right here is probably one track I have no doubts can be a single. First off, thematically, Taylor is telling a very relevant story. She's telling the audience how her career and the perception of her would be different if she was a man. This is legitimately a great message that is delivered in a way that's fun as opposed to being bitter and seething. Sexism and gender inequality in the music as well as the entertainment industry is a huge issue, and every day we hear more and more stories about this issue from women in the industry. Taylor is using her stardom to raise a red flag of sexism in the industry, and doing so in a musical way that gets people involved but also engaged. She brings it all forward and hits her peak when she throws out the lyric with bitches in it. Production-wise, this song is at its best during the bridge and verses. The chorus has a winding sound in it that isn't exactly pleasurable, but that doesn't make it bad. Overall, this track is excellently produced. This would be a track that would have to deal with radio edits, unfortunately. So with that in mind, this song could face issues with radio spins as well as airplay. In terms of sales and streaming, however, this track would have no issue at all. I think it's fair to say that this track could be an easy top 10, maybe even a top 5 for Taylor. However, I can see it being a stable track that floats among the top 20 for weeks upon weeks. Before we get to our number 1 pick, I'm going to name some other tracks off of Lover that I think would make great singles, such as I Forgot That You Existed, I Think He Knows, London Boy, Soon You'll Get Better, and It's Nice to Have a Friend. Number 1, Cruel Summer. I think it's no surprise that Cruel Summer is the number 1 pick. This track is one of the strongest off of Lover, and instantly is now a Taylor Swift classic. Many have analyzed that this track is written about the summer of 2016, when Taylor faced mountains of negative press and had her feud with Kanye and Kim, but also when she met her current boyfriend, Joe Alwyn. Taylor is lyrically singing about the fragility of beginning this relationship with Joe, especially during a time period where she's going through so much emotionally and publicly. This track is really a B-side to not only Delicate, but Dancing with Our Hands Tied. These 3 songs thematically are almost all about the same thing, but lyrically showcase different sides of the situation. Taylor has created her own cinematic universe, to be blunt. She references her own work, has allusions carried out through multiple records, and manages to have everything she does be self-contained, and this is a wonderful example of that. This track is pop perfection, with stellar production and experimentation from Jack Antonoff's vocals being distorted with a vocoder. I think it's safe to say this is a summer single right here, and would have its most success if released in the summer of 2020. However, I think this song could find success regardless. This is a smash hit, and I can easily see it being number 1 on a handful of charts, and having a minimum peak of being in the top 10. Taylor really manages to tell some beautiful stories with all the songs off of Lover, and especially these 5 tracks. If I were to give my own release schedule for all these singles, I'd say, in the fall of 2019, Cornelia Street. It's a perfect ballad for the fall and as well as the winter. It's intimate and would succeed off the heels of the track Lover. Winter of 2020, Paper Rings. As 2020 begins, I think Paper Rings would be a great way to jumpstart the new year. It's a great song she could perform on award shows this time period, as well as giving her a smash hit as the new year begins. Summer of 2020, Cruel Summer. This seems like an obvious one. Having a track with summer in the title being released in the summer is absolute gold. This would be the song of the summer and likely the year. Fall of 2020, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. To flow into the field of politics, this song could find some controversial success and notoriety during this time. Knowing how well Taylor is at planning, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually did happen. For the man, I would say this would be a great spring 2020 release, in between Paper Rings and Cruel Summer, as it's a fresh, fun track that would affirm some strength in Taylor and flow into the tone of Cruel Summer. However, I could also see it being released in the late summer of 2020, following Cruel Summer and before Miss Americana. The Man has its political tones to it, so it would be interesting and make sense to see it being released around her other political track. And with that, I give you my 5 single picks off of Taylor Swift's Lover. Thank you all so much for watching the video. What are your picks for singles off of Lover? Be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more future content on all your favorite pop stars.